Hello and welcome to today's daily news report where I cover the biggest stories affecting your wallet, life, and money today. You watch this channel each day because I keep you in the loop on what's really going on in Washington, D.C. with President Biden and the U.S. economy. I want to thank today's video sponsor, Sunday, and I'll tell you more about their program and their incredible offer later in this video. This morning, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer rushed a vote to create a domestic terrorist office to try to prevent mass shootings like what happened in Buffalo, New York. The vote failed with only 47 yeses when it needed 60 in order to pass on to the House of Representatives and up to President Biden's desk. Many Republicans voted against it because they say it is too rushed, and because the Biden administration has labeled parents that show concern at school board meetings as domestic terrorists. Schumer said he will try again in the future, as well as try for new gun reform pushes once they get back after Memorial Day weekend. So it failed, and there was, reasoning from both sides on the pros and the cons. And they will also try for some kind of gun reform. Those are two new bills that are in the Senate right now. Many Democrat leaders are furious with the Federal Reserve Bank and Jerome Powell. They say the Fed should have raised rates months earlier. Now they are being blamed for everything being so expensive in an election year. I wish these politicians would be a little bit more concerned about how this hurts their voters. And not how it hurts their chance of getting a vote from the voter. But both parties use people's emotions and hardships to try to garner votes, which I think is just disgusting. But this is what was in the news today, them blaming the Federal Reserve for making them look bad in an election year. The United States is caught between a rock and a hard place. Government spending is crippling the country, or rather government borrowing and then spending. If our government had to spend what it actually brings in tax revenue, the country would be in a very different position. But every time they have a perceived great idea, a new war to fund, or they just want to bless the lives of citizens of other countries, they take out more debt. However, a new report today showed that based on interest rates rising and national debt rising, by 2050, 100% of U.S. citizens' tax revenue collected by the federal government will be used to pay interest-only payments on the national debt. So basically, all money that you and I pay would go to pay the Federal Reserve, China, other countries that we've borrowed money from. That's how poorly the government is managing our tax money. Now, I have a lot more to tell you, but let me take just 1 minute to tell you about today's video sponsor. Even though my last name is Gardner, I'm not the best at keeping my yard weed-free and green, so I've turned to Sunday to help me out. Sunday is seriously cutting edge. Their team of specialists use my zip code and soil data to craft the right blend of fertilizer for my yard. Where I live is a desert, but my zip code has clay soil. Sunday is an annual subscription service that provides all the lawn care products you need. Last year, our backyard got a grub that wiped out all of the progress I had made. But now I'm using Sunday to help me rebuild with their amazing seed product and fertilizer. Their cutting-edge science uses a blend of seaweed, iron, and molasses to give your yard just what it needs. Plus, the product ships right to your home. The last time I ordered extra so I could help my neighbor who's been struggling to green her grass. I told her all that I had learned from Sunday about our unique soil, and she agreed to let me spray her yard. So head to getsunday.com/Stephen Gardner to check out Sunday and get 20% off with code Stephen Gardner 20. What a great way to save some green while putting some green back in your yard. All right, now let's get back to today's news update. President Biden is floating the idea of forcefully removing all assault weapons from the United States. He says it can be done and it wouldn't affect the Second Amendment. He then said the Second Amendment is not absolute. From some, he drew a cheer, and from others, he drew anger. because many Americans feel that the Second Amendment is part of their rights as American citizens, while at the same time not knowing exactly what to do with some of these military-grade assault weapons. So he got very mixed reactions with his comments. Now, 83% of the country in a new poll said that rising crime was one of their top concerns. So there's been rising crime all over the country, especially in major cities. And so that is definitely on the American people's mind, as well as inflation and immigration and the border situation. Democrats have another huge election hurdle issue that the timing couldn't be worse for them, and it could affect you. Many Americans, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, or Independent, like Obamacare because it lowers the cost of health insurance. What they don't know is that it was affordable. The affordable part of the Affordable Cares Act was because the United States government snuck legislation in years ago to supplement or offset the cost of insurance for lower income Americans in order to make the program look better and so that Republicans couldn't get rid of it. Well, that money and that legislation run out this year, and Democrats have to pass new legislation with new money right before the election. Notice of increase of premium letters go out in October, right when politicians are going to try to convince you that they will protect your rights, that they will lower your bills, that they will lower the cost of gas, that they will get this inflation under control, that they will fight for your skin color and your race, etc., etc., etc. All the BS that they give us right before elections. If the price increase goes into effect, 13 million Americans will see a huge increase in their monthly health care premiums, and millions will drop out of the program. So Democrats have a lot of things building against them being reelected, and even worse, tens of millions of Americans could have a huge increase in their monthly bills if the Democrats aren't able to pass this. So it's affordable because they basically passed legislation, but that legislation is running out this year. Economist Peter Schiff said, Putin isn't to blame, and neither is COVID for the raging inflation everyone is feeling. He said it all comes down to stupid government monetary policy. The Fed is willing to lend to a country that is willing to spend and give money away to other countries. We borrowed money from China to give to Ukraine. How stupid is that, he says. He said, your financial problems are because of the central bank and the government. It is not your fault. So basically he's saying, listen, these guys are so dumb on the Hill. The way that they spend and borrow and give away is negatively affecting you. And then they blame you and then say they will fix the problem. So the political system is very broken, and it's affecting all of our wallets. It's one reason I do this channel every day, is to keep you guys in the loop on what they're doing with your money. It's your money. It's not even their money. All right, now news broke today that Twitter's former CEO, Jack Dorsey, will be leaving the board of directors immediately. Allegations have been made that some board of director members became unhappy with him after he served the company on a platter to Elon Musk. In other Twitter news, Twitter has agreed to pay a $150 million fine for misusing private data to advertisers from their platform. So apparently Twitter would capture your personal information, tell you that it was secured, and then they would turn around and sell it to advertisers, which is a big no-no. If they disclose it, it's fine. If they don't, it's illegal. And now they're paying a huge fine. So Twitter is definitely in the news big time, right? Now, a new fear has surfaced among Americans recently, and you probably couldn't guess what it is. We've heard about overpopulation, but now the big buzzword is underpopulation. As it turns out, most American couples aren't having enough kids to replace the generation that's dying off. As of 2022, an American family right now is adding 1.7 children, while you need 2.1 children to replace the next generation. Elon Musk has been a popular proponent of spreading this information. He says the second biggest danger to humanity is underpopulation and artificial intelligence. In fact, since 1975, there's only been a handful of years where the average amount of kids per family hit 2 or more. Back in 1950, the average family added 3 to 4 children. And so things have just changed. The way we look at family, the cost of raising children, things like that. So that's why there's so much immigration coming in right now is in the United States. If there wasn't that flow of immigration, then we would actually be going downhill population-wise even faster. The sad reality is, even though we're not having as many kids, we also can't feed them due to Operation Fly Formula not working to fix the baby formula crisis. The United Kingdom has now had to step in. They sent over 2 million cans of baby formula, but now the FDA is holding it up and saying, hey, we need to test your formula that you already tested and we're selling to your people before we can get it out to the American people. So all of this red tape and bureaucratic nightmare is causing babies to go hungry. It's just one more example of how broken the government is sometimes. As former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger suggested that Ukrainian President Zelensky should concede parts of Ukraine in order to end the war, Zelensky has fired back. He said, behind all these geopolitical speculations of those who advise Ukraine to give away something to Russia, great geopoliticians are always unwilling to see ordinary people. Millions of those who actually live in the territory they propose to exchange for the illusion of peace. You must see the people. Don't look at this as land. Look at this as families. Look at this as people, he says. Zelensky also referred this reasoning being similar to allowing Nazi Germany to take over parts of Europe in 1938 under the Munich Agreement. He said France, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Italy gave up land, and it didn't stop Hitler. So basically he's saying we're not going to give up. But at the same time, is the world going to continue to fund this endless war? We'll see in the future. Now, this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more with you. Before you go, make sure to get your name entered to be one of the winners of the $6,000 in cash that Casey and I are giving away. 12 of you are going to win $500 each. I can't wait to give that money away thanks to generous video sponsors. And you can use it however you want. There's no strings attached. I just will let the winners know via the email they use to sign up if they are a winner or not. Also, make sure to check out Sunday. I'll leave that link below. I've already seen a huge improvement in my lawn since filming that ad in the past. The lawn's already looking better. And so just a great, great product. And you got Father's Day coming up, so a great opportunity to make a dad happy. Now, before you go, I just want to remind you that you are amazing, just in case no one tells you that today. Hey, I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.